Okay, my wife is at an event right now that is pretty cool. She is sharing a lunch at the Byron Bay Golf Club with 47 other women from Byron Bay, and this is as a fundraiser. The purpose of the fundraiser is to raise funds for Beyond Blue, which is a agency that deals with depression and anxiety here. And three of her friends and herself are going walking next week in Noosa, which is up above Brisbane, about 3.5 hours drive from here. 40K walk, I think. So it's going to take like all day. But in order to, I suppose, make the most of it, they decided to have a fundraiser. And they've been very successful at actually getting 48 of them, well, so 44 other women to this lunch on a Friday afternoon. It's a pretty good event, and it may represent what goes on in Byron Bay, which is lifestyle is paramount here. But out of this, it can be asked, well, how did that happen? How did they get 44 women to this event? And is it a mystery? Is it some miracle? Did God come down and say, hey, I'm going to provide a golden tablet to these 44 and tell them to go? No, that's not what happened. What happened was there was a bunch of actions that got taken to create that result. At the very beginning, there was this idea, presumably, there was a discussion, hey, should we have a fundraiser? Yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that. And then there was a series of decisions and a series of actions that were taken. So there was a decision to choose a location and then to invite women that might be interested. And I believe the number was around 200. So they've got like a pretty high conversion rate, 25% conversion rate on this. The invitations went out. Some women said yes, some women said no. Those that said yes, they collected the money from and they booked out the restaurant, and then today they got to go. They all got dressed up. My wife was looking beautiful, very dressed up. She is she works for a dress company called Spell. Spell and the I think it's just called Spell now. It used to be called Spell and the Gypsy Collective, but they make some great clothing. So looking great. Emma heads off for this. They're presumably having a great time. There was auction items. There was the full fundraising experience. But know that result is not by chance, not by manna falling from heaven, not by accident. No, there were steps taken, there were actions taken, there were decisions taken. And should I desire to create a fundraiser, then I could go to them and say, hey, what'd you do? And they'd say, well, we did this first, and we did this, then we did this, and we did this, and we did this, and then we had the fundraiser, we all had a great time. And we raised, I don't know, maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for Beyond Blue. And we had a great time. I'm like, awesome. How cool is that? But notice that there was a way that this happened. There was a way that this got done. And literally, I could go to them and ask them what done. Write down, hey, what'd you do? What'd you do next? What'd you do next? What'd you do next? Does this sound familiar? It should sound familiar. This is a system. This system creates a result. That result is get a bunch of people to a fundraiser on a Friday afternoon. Raise a bunch of money. It's pretty cool. It's like, hey. And if I wanted to do that, then I could repeat the same things that they did and I would likely get the same result. I need to invite 200 people. And some of them will say yes, maybe 40. They're like, it's going to average out at, let's call it a 40 to 50 people will come, particularly if it's a good cause. And perhaps there's some variables that over time, someone who's specialized in this would get to learn. It's like, oh, okay, hey, look, we got more people if we invited them this way. We got less people if we invited them this way, if we promised this and we delivered this, and what happened. But there would be some variables. But overall, if those actions and decisions were not made, then there would be no fundraiser. Or perhaps they'd only have 10 people or 4 people. This is the same in your business. And early on, you don't need to document all this stuff. Do you think they documented? No, they did not. There was no system documentation going on, but this is a one-off event for them, or likely to be. Perhaps it's really successful. Like, hey, let's do this again next year. And at that point, then the documentation would be very useful. So, hey, what did we do last time? Oh, that's right. We made this decision, this decision, this decision, and then we took this action, this action, this action. If that were documented, then hey, that is beneficial. What about if someone left the area, but they had a crucial piece of the puzzle? Like, we could look at what's happened and go, oh, wow, well, that happened because of that particular step. But if they leave the area, then you lose that. And the results aren't the same. Why? Because the system is not implemented the same. It wasn't executed the same. But if they write it down right now, then even if one of the 4 women left, then they've still got a system that works. This happens all the time in your business. Your team member leaves and they take with them a bunch of the intellectual property that they have created as part of their job, but because you did not write it down, it's not documented anywhere, or it's documented from what was going on 3 months, 6 months, 12 months ago, that no longer represents what's actually going on, then as they leave your business, they also walk away with something that is valuable to you. And that is your documentation. And yes, in the early days, you don't need it. You've got other problems. I get it. You've got to work out how to market and how to sell and how to fulfill. But if you know systems, even at that early stage, you're like, okay, let's just get out the basics. Let's get bare bones systems in place. What happened here? How did I market? Oh, I did this, this, and this. How did I sell? I did this, this, and this. How did we advertise? I did this, this, and this. How did we fulfill? We did this, this, and this. How did I do the books? How did I raise capital? How did I do accounting? How did I? All of these things get documented if you understand how to do systems. What's it costing you not to have this on point? What is it costing you? Because it's very common to look around and see stressed out entrepreneurs that are frustrated, that just want to burn their business to the ground because they hit this stage where they need to have documentation. They need to have systems that actually work. They need to have the capacity to have team members work together and know what's getting done so that deadlines get met and standards get met and the business thrives instead of falling apart when it should be growing as it hits its straps and that opportunity to expand up the S-curve and things are going well. But if you don't have your systems on point, then your business will suffer. You will end up hating it. You will be working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks trying to deal with fire after fire after fire, all because you are too lazy to go, oh my goodness, I need to get this systems thing on point. It can be done. There are books on this. This is not new. E-Myth came out, what, like 80s? You know, this is a 40-year discussion, and yet it continues to frustrate and be of great difficulty to many entrepreneurs. Those that get it get to scale. Those that get it get to grow. Those that get it get to go again and again and again. It is such a strategic advantage to have sorted this out that those that do not will get slaughtered in the marketplace. It's just the way it is. So it's your choice. You can continue to suffer. You can continue to leave this as a difficulty that you want to run away from, or you can take some action and go, you know what, I need to understand this more. There are books on this. E-Myth, Work the System, Clockwork, Systemology. There's a bunch of them. Go read them. Go work out how to sort this out. And if you'd like some help, if you'd like to shortcut and just go, man, just tell me how to do this stuff, then head over to systemio.dev. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. And you can see from this example of the fundraiser that there were actions and decisions that got done, and the outcome was a very successful fundraiser. I'm excited to see my wife after this. I'm presuming she's going to be in a great mood. I am grateful for her to raise money with her friends, have a great time, very good cause in these difficult times. and know that it came because there was a system that got executed. All right, head over to systemio.dev. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode as we continue this journey into the power of systems and processes in your business. See you then.